Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beneath the Lift Tower, fans podcast by fans for fans of Northampton Saints. My name is Charles McGillivray, and as always, I'm joined by Simon Stacey and Jess Keble. How you both doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate.
Good. Enjoyed a bit of cup rugby on Friday night.
Yeah, it was a good game, wasn't it? Always good.
It's really good.
It was yeah. I mean, it's always nice to go into a derby when you feel pretty confident when you're looking at the team sheet. I think we were definitely the stronger of the two sides.
Yeah, it was good to see some of the youngsters step up as well, wasn't it? And totally outplayed them on the park, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was all going so well when Archie McParland ran underneath the posts, and then unfortunately TMO came in, pulled it back. And we seemed to lose a bit of momentum for that time when Charlie Zavala was off the pitch.
Yeah, he looked pretty decent at 12, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought Charlie Zavala, that's clearly his position.
Yeah.
In that pivot role, 10 role, he looks a bit stop-start. He hasn't quite got that perpetual motion that the top 10s have. Whereas at 12, he's obviously a big lad. I mean, some of the shots he was putting in, I thought the high shot was coming before it came because he put in a few close to the line shots ahead of that tackle.
We should say though, you said when he was off the pitch, but he wasn't, was he? It was a penalty.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he should have been off the pitch.
Austin Healy was going for that's a red. And they went, it's just a penalty. I went, yeah, that's the right decision. They were both upright. The game's going soft, man. That's just
I don't know about that, right? The law is very simple. It's sort of was there foul play, and was it a confrontation? Was it aggressive? Full contact, forceful. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. And was there any mitigation? The mitigation for me is he probably doesn't actually tackle his head. He sort of the contact sort of between Charlie Zavala's chest and the point of his shoulder / back, and then his arm sort of wraps around a bit and makes a bit of a glancing blow with his head. So it's almost like a seatbelt tackle scenario, I would say. So that's probably why they've got to. I mean, the ref was a bit out of his depth, I thought. They're obviously using the tournament to blood a few new refs, but
it's all right.
Yeah, I think people forget that it's a development comp all round, but also he did have Adam Leal on the sidelines with him, who's very experienced at that point, and they all seem to be in agreement. I still think it should have been a yellow card. I think he should have had 10 minutes in the bin. I think just based on how other decisions have been made across the season, I don't think we're looking at a red card. I think it's not at speed from a distance, really. Other people have already tackled that player, so it changes the dynamics of that tackle as well. But I think I was very surprised when he got away with just a penalty. But I don't think it's a red card. But I think it was questionable.
No, I agree. It's like you said. Is there foul play? Yes, because there's been contact with the head. Is there mitigation? Yeah, because it's more of a glancing sort of. It's not a force or contact with the head. It's his sort of arm that's wrapped around that's made the contact. He's bolt upright though, and that's the problem. And if he's gonna play centre and play game time at, he wants to play in the Premiership, etc., on a regular basis, those tackles, they need to be cleaner than clean. You can't risk, those sort of incidents when it's getting reviewed and there's head contact, because you go a man down in the Premiership and that's possibly the game gone. Tigers then sort of snatched a bit of an advantage, really, and went and scored that try. And I was thinking, maybe this game isn't going to go quite the way I wanted or thought it was going to go, but it did eventually.
Yeah.
To give him benefit of the doubt, though, I know it's a split second, isn't it? I know he needs to tackle lower, but he probably wasn't prepared for that tackle, and he was just like, "Oh, he's here," and he's just gone in. So it's one of them. Unfortunately, you take it on the chin if you get a yellow card and move on. But we were just lucky, so makes a change to actually get some luck from the TMO.
Yeah, but then there was a few tackles prior to that one when he was upright as well. He obviously came with the intention to make a statement, like I want to come in and big physical hits, but it's just he needs to get that body height lower, really, doesn't he? But
Yeah,
anyway,
he
let's
was.
move away from dodgy tackle discussion and onto some of the phenomenal tries that Saints scored.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's really positive and like comforting to know that like no matter who it is that plays for Saints, like that DNA clearly has worked its way through all of them, you know, through senior academy to junior academy to all the way up through to the seniors. Like there is a style that they want to play here, and everyone seems to have bought into it because it looked like a Saints team. You know, it had the DNA of a Saints team, despite some people making debuts, some people that have never played with other people before, and that was really positive.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's why I don't know if you've watched it back, but they interviewed Douse and they asked him because they said that I won't mention their name. They put their understudy coaches as their bosses, and Dowson was like,
Yeah.
no, no. He said the lads work with us all week, even when we're playing in the Premiership. They all do exactly the same thing. We learn the same thing, and they deserve to have the same coaching. So I thought fair play to him for that, and it obviously paid off. So
Yeah.
absolutely annihilated them. But yeah, the 10, Mr. Makeshift Cubert looked pretty decent again, didn't he?
Make peace.
Makeshift.
Yeah, mate, you know.
Makeshift.
He definitely wasn't a makeshift 10, that's for sure. He was phenomenal.
It was great,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I think with the whole coaches thing is like that's just I think that's really from a Tigers point of view. You know, I know they're seeing it as developing their coaches, right? But if the goal is to develop your players, these players who played on Friday night are desperate to get opportunities to impress and play and wear the shirt. And if the when this competition comes around, the top coaches take a backward step and aren't involved, well, what incentive is that for those youngsters to develop and show themselves? They want to show to Sam Vesti, to James Craig, to Matt Ferguson, to Dowse, etc., that they're ready and they're there. They want that shirt. And if when the Premier games come around, so if you're just taking a backward step and your second line of coaches come in, it's not quite the same, is it? You've got to give those people who are desperate for opportunities as if they were playing for the Saints and the Prem.
That's why I totally respected that. I thought it was the right decision because they got to learn. There's no better than learning from the top man, is there? So
it's also an audition. It's an audition. So what's the point auditioning in front of someone that doesn't have a say in, the other competitions? Like I just don't see what the worth in it is. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not that the regular coaches aren't going to be watching it back and looking, sure, but it's not the same as. I don't see how that's the same as being actively involved with them, like you said, on like a week-by-week basis or a day-by-day basis, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, there is real consistency across the performances. You just have to look at the shape on a lot of the attack for the tries. I'm thinking about the Ram try, that sort of out the back sort of play from Makepeace Cubit, and same for the Archie McParland non-try. That couldn't be more, that couldn't be more Saints play if that is exactly always looking to get the edge, and that worked perfect. When he dropped it out the back door, the ball into space and the gap, that couldn't have been closer to Dingwall, Finn, Freeman playing the same play, or Furbank. It was the shape was almost identical, and it just shows you that consistency of training. They had Chungamunga on the radio afterwards. I was listening at the car on the way home, and he was saying a lot of the words he said was, "We do what we do and we relentlessly do it. We don't get bored training the good stuff. We just repeat, so that it's ingrained in them, so that when they get on the pitch, they're ready to play that shape. They're ready to move the ball. They know the decisions to make because they've seen it a million times in training. I think it's showing that they are really creating, as you said, Jess, that DNA throughout the squad now."
Yeah.
I mean, Ram at the moment knows how to make a cameo, doesn't he? Because he didn't play for very long.
He's injured. He's injured again.
He is injured again, yeah. But he knows how to make a little cameo for himself because I reckon he played half an hour and was instrumental in loads of the stuff that we did. But yes, there was a bit of a confusion, wasn't there? Because somebody was coming on, and I don't think it was for Ram. because there was a really long conversation on the sideline, and I think Ram was sort of testing his leg out a bit, and then he turned around and saw who it was that was coming on, and sort of walked off. And I don't think it was for him. And then there was a bit of a conversation. He was very obviously saying to them, like, my leg doesn't feel right. I need to come off. And so there was a bit of back and forth. And then the woman by the pitch, who's obviously kind of liaises with those at the top down to the bottom, like, was pointing at Ram and pointing that he obviously wanted to come off and was relaying that message. So I'm not sure that was what the original substitution was actually meant to be, that he wasn't comfortable. He was like grabbing like the back of the top. I don't know the body, but the top of the back of his leg.
Yeah, it sort of looked hammy, knee.
Yeah.
I thought it was knee.
Yeah. And so it was a bit limpy as he walked off. It may just be that it maybe was a bit tight and it was tightening up and he just didn't want to risk it. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily something long term, but you could tell he wanted to get off. Because at that point, realistically, like, I mean, he went off with what, 20 minutes to go, maybe a bit, and we knew what the outcome was going to be at that point, and it's just not worth risking it, really, is it?
Nah, it's probably no. We don't want him injured, but it's probably the best time to have him injured. To be fair, if it's only a few weeks, he can just rest up. I'd have wrapped him out on wall personally, but hey,
well, they probably will now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you sort of hope so. You'd think like they went relatively. I know a lot of the players are the sort of squad players played in that game. There's also a few first team regulars. I'm not saying first team starters necessarily, but first team regulars are sort of sprinkled through the side as well. You'd sort of imagine that now that they've got the Tigers game out of the way, the next two the champ sides are probably gonna, maybe bring even a few more youngsters into the mix as well.
It felt like the balance was right though. Like, I didn't feel like we overloaded it, so that we were like, because we talked about before, hadn't we, that like what we really see the competition as being for. And there's a worry, I suppose, that you overload it. But I don't think we did. I think we got the balance right. If it was
Jess,
probably
you
like
muted
70.
yourself.
Yeah, I know. I pressed a button. It probably felt like it was like 70-75% sort of the people it should be. And then, like you said, you sprint. And I said this last week, that we have some of that situation where like some of our youngsters are experienced. I mean, we had a captain who's what, 23, 24?
Yeah, 24.
In Munger, and like he's an experienced one, but he's still young. And so we're in kind of a lucky position that we still have a lot of youngsters in there who have played some Premiership games, and so it's not too bad to put them in the PRC. And then it helps in a situation like that, because it certainly helped, I think, keep it all together nicely when you have some of those kind of leaders in there.
Yeah, and it also gives them an opportunity to speak up and feel their confidence speaking and develop their leadership and their develop themselves as well in those sort of games, because the ability to develop your leadership skills in the Premiership is probably pretty hard when you've got so many leaders in the squad anyway, and it's a must win game every week, so it's a good opportunity for them to develop in that environment as well.
Maybe we should do what England did and have about 50 vice captains, and then everybody can have a go.
Yeah, let's not mention England. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm off to see them. Hopefully lose to Australia next week anyway. So I'm actually missing the Nottingham game. So you'll have to keep me updated, because I don't think it's going to be on TV.
Traitor.
Yeah, I am.
Well, no, not a traitor. But yeah.
You were born in England.
We're not getting into this. Anyway, so yeah. Otherwise, looking at the performance, the Tigers, who stood out? I'm going to put one name out there. George Hendy.
Yeah. He was good, wasn't he?
He's George Hendy. Come off. Like, I mean, I don't think he can do anything wrong anymore. I think everyone's going to love him forever.
It's those necks.
Every time he gets the ball, like the noise that you hear around the stadium, honestly, there's like an aura around him at the minute.
It's like those gangly legs, but they're so strong. And it's the he can like have split. He can do the splits, but still sprint. It's weird.
Me and my mum call him Bambi, because his legs are just everywhere, but he can stay upright somehow and just make meters. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's sort of got like Velcro feet in the fact that they just sort of grip at weird angles to the ground, and he manages to stick. But then when he puts his head down, he's so fast, so strong. I've said for ages, they forget how strong he is. He brushes off tackles at ease, and it's amazing. He's 21 years old, and he was levels above anyone else on that pitch, I thought. He's a junior. He's not necessarily a out and out starter in the first team. He's a a regular player. He's going to play a lot of games, and but wow, what a player he is! And like he just looked levels above. I thought. Um, looking throughout the rest of the team, who else stood out for you?
Mate, Peace, Kubert, he was quality again. He was trying the little crossfield kicks like Finn. First one wasn't all that, but the second one, look at the bounce. Obviously, Mr. Pollock again. That boy
The
is just
chosen one.
better and better.
That try was ridiculous. Like, obviously, like the bounce of the ball is what did the Tigers player. Like, there's no getting around that. But I'm just like an 8 shouldn't be able to jump that high to catch the ball off of someone in the back. I'm like, what the heck?
Was he a winger?
As soon as he grabbed it.
Like,
yeah. And then as soon as Pollock had it, he just started smirking. I was like, you aren't even over the line yet, mate. Like, it was fantastic, honestly. And then whoever it was, somebody was annoyed. So quite a while after he put the ball down, someone shoved him.
Yeah, it was the winger. He beats the ball.
Yeah.
And then he shoved him into another ongoing player that was just running back. And then Pollock took offence at the player he got shoved into, not the player who shoved him, the player he got shoved into.
The thing that I loved was about Hendy is try that step. He absolutely did was it their winger or their fullback? Absolutely did him, and they panned it on the coaches. You saw Dawson Vesti absolutely pissing themselves because it was just like a little shimmy off his left. He's like, oh god, it was awesome.
The absolute monstrous of a left foot step. It was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I must admit, the coaches make me laugh so much. Every time you go to the screen, they're on it. They're just chuckling. It doesn't matter what game it is. They are just chuckling away. And it just make you realise kind of like the vibe in camp, though. And like how they've been able to build that kind of strong bond. Because it literally comes from up there. Like everyone is just... It's like, yeah, like it's all about rugby and it's all about wanting to win. But I think what's kind of crucial is that they've kind of instilled like a lot of fun in it. Like you can see how much fun all of them are having, taking to the pitch together and being able to play the game together. And I think sometimes when teams have been struggling and you've seen them, and it's happened to Saints as well in the past, where you've got players like shouting at each other on the pitch because they're getting annoyed at their own teammates. And like, we're not doing that at the moment. Everyone just seems to be having fun. And I mean, it's easy to have fun when you're winning, but yeah, like the vibe around camp seems great.
And at the end of the day, I know they get paid to do it, but that's what you play the game for. The grassroots, it's to have fun. But yeah, at that level, it's a lot more important. But if you're having fun, getting paid, and winning, it's just the best weekend ever, isn't it?
So try
that was the Tom Lockett, when we had him on the show. That's what he was saying, wasn't it? He said about last year. Like every day, every week was just fun to go into the club, fun to go in and train. They're clearly creating a really, really good atmosphere, like you say, within the club, bringing the ethos that they're trying to build, and because they're bringing these players through at the same time together, I think it's just creating really good camaraderie within the squad. That I think is worth 10-20% on a Saturday. Having those players who are willing to want to get up and get in the line for the mate next to them, that's just what you need. You need them all to buy in and want to be there. I mean, me and Si are old enough to remember when a certain South African took over as the head coach and just destroyed any camaraderie in the squad and created big cliques and big divides.
Indeed.
And funny enough, that pretty much destroyed everything, and it wasn't long later we got relegated. It's rugby is, probably 80% emotional. I know they're all incredibly talented players, but it's so emotional. It's such an emotional need to want up and put your body on the line. And if you don't like the man next to you, you've got to be incredibly professional, or it's not going to happen. So I think
it comes back to the importance of having all the coaches and all the players together as well. I like being able to play together often, and that's why I think it's important to use the PRC for that. Because you think of like the backline we've got now, with pretty much with the exception of Finn, who just is like a once in a generation talent that just came and fit in perfectly with everyone straight away. But the rest of them, like, how long have they known each other at this point, and how many times have they played together even before they made their debuts in the Prem in Europe? They were the PRC bunch at one point, and they played regularly. And I think that's, like you said, a really key part of why they play the way that they do and how they work so well together, because they've built it up over a long time, and why that's really important to keep that going. Because some of these players that we're seeing, some of these young guys, like it's going to be them in 5 years' time who are playing really, really well together because of that experience. I'm really happy that we have, and it's nothing against Savala, because I actually thought he was one of the best on the pitch at 12. I thought he was absolutely fantastic the whole day. I kept noticing loads of different things that he was doing. But I think it is why it's really important that we've got someone like Makepeace Cubitt coming in and making a good impression, because that felt, and I've said it before, it felt like one of the weaknesses to me that we didn't have a proper out and out backup 10. Like, we still had Ferbs, and I know that's always been the counterpoint that we have Fairbank. And like we do, but you know, he's world class at 15. And I always felt like at 10 we needed a bona fide backup 10 who was there and played in that position. And I think it's really good that we seem to have someone that's making that step up.
Yeah. Well, you got the 8, 9, and 10 of England under 20s, haven't you? To be fair.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the perfect pin
Yeah.
altogether. So
yeah, I agree fully. I thought that, you know, it's incredible. Those three, Pollock, McParland, and were three of the best players on the pitch, and their children. They're literally juveniles. I mean, like they've only just like got their driving licenses. They've only just been able to like start drinking. They're playing top level professional rugby, and they're playing at a really high standard. Pollock is something else, right? He is like, his physicality for his age is unreal. He's just sensational. But I think one of the most improved players over the last 12 months within the squad has been McParland. I think
that's what I was say.
he looks an established player now. It's chalk and cheese from when we saw him away at Bristol. Was it end of last year, middle of last year?
He had it rough, and like we didn't hold back in those podcast episodes where we talked about, and he'll probably be open and honest about it, that it was bad, to put it kind of bluntly. And so it's really, really good, especially as we still don't seem to have a timeline on Alex about what is going on there. It's really positive that you know, he's maturing and getting much better, because we're going to definitely going to have to rely on him, at least for what I can tell, for a good chunk of upcoming time. Because
how was he not man of the match as well? Tariq Afar was good, but
I mean, I must say though, awesome. I must say, having watched it back though, like I see why they picked Afar, because that kid was a beast for literally minute one, like, and it's really easy to spot him with the pink hair.
Yeah.
Like he was on it like the whole way through. He's so much faster than he realized, and he was on people's shoulders the whole time, and he was taking passes and making breaks and making runs and making meters. Like that guy was in beast mode. So I totally get it, because I didn't think it should necessarily have been him when I was there. And then you watch it back and you realize actually the work rate he got through and the places he got himself into. I totally understood.
He had 8 or 9 carries, didn't he? He was playing like a centre, really.
Yeah, but that's what we need to bring, because I think his set piece game is still developing. It's not at the levels of the other two props in the squad. I think in loose heads in the squad at the moment, I don't think. But what he is phenomenal at is his ball carrying and his mobility around the pitch. He's very, very similar in my view to a young Ellis Genge. I think that's the type of player he is. And I'm sure with Fergie will get with him, and he will really solidify his ability at the set piece. But around the park, he's got ability to become a real tremendous player, I think. Sorry.
So it's all right. You got to remember, he also transferred from the back row, there, didn't he, to being a prop. So that's why his ball carrying is top notch, because he's obviously a back rower. So
I must admit though, I think it's really hard to pick man of the match. I'll be honest. I think you can make a case for so many of them. It was such a good, well-rounded performance. Like
Archie for me.
Archie was phenomenal, but then Hendy was like levels above. Like, he looked like he was playing amongst children. Like he was. I just thought he was so much better than anyone else on the pitch, I thought, in terms of his ability and his skill and his pace and his power. But then Archie, I agree, his like game management, his kicking, his delivery from the breakdown is really good.
Yeah. And I still would genuinely make a case for Savala. That's who me and my mum literally pointed out when we were there. Like, that guy got so much ball, he made so many breaks and so many meters. I was like, this kid should be playing at centre. Like, why have we been playing him at 10? And then you realise who he's got to be out to play for centre, and you're like, oh, I don't know how possible that's going to be.
He looks more of a centre. I'm not taking away from him.
No, he does. No, I agree. He does look
he's
more
a 12.
definitely.
The size of him, like Charles said here. And we're not dissing his skills. He hasn't got the fin or the like the skills at a 10 like he has. So I think 12 is perfect for him because he's absolute unit. And you saw his little steps he kept doing as well.
I thought he was. I honestly was just like he looked like a completely different player.
He did.
Like genuinely. But then you just think of who is, you think you've got Hutch and Dingwall at 12, who you're going to have ahead of him, just because Hutchison at the moment is, for me, playing some of the best rugby out of everyone in the Premiership, full stop. Then you just got Dingwall, who at this point is an international centre. And then you don't really get him in at at 30. I don't see how he really gets into that position, but I don't really see how he gets into 10 either. So it's a difficult one because I thought he really stood out, but you don't put him ahead of.
But I think that's the point about this. This performance really shows the level of depth and talent now in the squad is off the charts.
Yeah, it's not like a negative thing overall, but you do kind of worry what's going to happen with like individual players. Like you question how long he would be at the club because you just. Even despite that performance, you don't put him ahead of a Hutch and a Dingwall. You just don't. And so it's put a third choice. How long do you stay around when realistically you're going to be third choice?
But he's back. He's a backup, isn't he? So he knows that.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that. Sorry.
I was just saying, it just depends. I suppose if an offer comes in from somewhere else, and they're more likely to play him, you wouldn't begrudge. But he definitely knew that when he came in, he was there as a backup. Yeah.
But he's got a new fan in Austin Healey anyway. He absolutely loved it. This kid can play. I was like, yeah, where's he been? Yeah, he's been playing at 10. Doesn't play like that when he's at 10. So he did look decent, to be fair. Fair play to him. He took his chance.
It's a great task, but a great problem, isn't it? Because they're now you look at the talent underneath the squad, and they've got to try and get games for all of these players. But the top tier competitions, the Prem and the Champions Cup, every game is so crucial. The temptation to play your strongest 15 every minute of every game must be there. But you've got, like you say, you go through the side. You've got Hafar, Craig Wright had hit and miss. I think his lineouts need to get better, but he will get better at them. I'm sure he looked all right.
Yeah.
Luke Green looks a real prospect. Second row Munger's looking a top player. He arguably starts anywhere in the first. Thornbury's a bit of a find, I think. He looks a handful. Unger Scott Young's been quality for so long. Pollock's like the chosen one. He is the next coming. He is phenomenal. McParland, Makepeace Cubitt.
You forgot Finn Brown.
He got a couple of turnovers. He looked a tidy player. I'm sure he's good. The reputation he's got, I'm sure we're going to see better from him as well. Zavala, Litchfield, like Seabrook is not even considered, and he's an experienced Premiership player. Hendy, phenomenal. Like it just unbelievable. I think the talent is like, how are you going to get all them games out? I don't know. There's a few things to point out, right? First of all, there was the Fijian winger from Hull FC. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. It's Nayaki Panani. I'm not going to go anymore. But
move on.
I don't get that decision. I really don't get that decision of playing side, bringing him in as a guest player. You've got Cousins who's tearing it up in the Championship. Why not give him game time? You've got Glister.
To be fair, he wasn't listed as a guest player, though, was he? He was listed as a trialist, and I'm assuming that's the best way, I suppose.
I disagree. I think he was listed as a guest player.
No, it definitely said trialist on one of the screens.
To be fair, consider he's a leaguer, he was over that ruck 3 or 4 times, and he had the perfect arm to grab the ball. They don't play that in league, so I don't know who's taught him that. He did an all right job, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have said he did anything that stood out. But I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it didn't necessarily matter because of the result at the end of the day. No, I do. I'm not saying I necessarily agree or disagree either way, like that he should or shouldn't have played. But I don't know. I suppose they're trying to just throw people in and see what they can do. But no, I can see the point. Maybe we'll see some different people this weekend or against Coventry.
You got to say, looking back at that game though, the way we're talking is they didn't play a weak side of just kids. You got to remember that. They had like their first choice centre because he was coming back from a ban. Their first choice or second choice 10, a
Yeah.
28-year-old scrum half. It wasn't all kids, so they
No, they had a few. They had a few in there. Like, some names I knew. Is it Rogerson?
Yeah, so they had Matt Rogerson, who was a former London Irish skipper.
They had
He was playing for them.
Shilcock. They had Shilcock, and no offense to Leicester, but if you don't get someone in to replace Hondre when he leaves, you're screwed, because I think that guy is not good.
Yeah.
No offense,
Shilcock's
but
okay.
he was very bad, and he has been.
Yeah. Tom
I'm trying
Whiteley.
not to be too mean, but I'm like, he really, really stood out as not being good.
Is he a 10 though? That's the thing. He's played fullback. He's played centre. Is he a 10?
I think he's got decent enough talent as a player, but he's not a decision maker, and he's probably not enough of an athlete to be a 15. So I don't rate him as a player either. Tom Whiteley though was the 9. Tom Whiteley's a very experienced 9. He's played for Saracens for years, played for Leicester for a number of years. He's very experienced Premiership 9.
And then it was is Kata the one you were talking about?
Yeah, the centre.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to be a danger man at some point, but we just managed to quieten all of them, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Aim for the big boys, take them out before they can get any speed up. That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. It's just too. It's very, very, very promising. That's the thing. I don't want to keep going on about it, but I was, really impressed. I think the talent within the squad is sensational. The other point of note is there was a debut for a certain young tight head who has a pretty long, pretty good surname, Tongawiya.
Yeah, that was quite amazing. The cheer he got, and the fact
you want to know though, like
his dad
they
gave him
obviously
his shirt, didn't he? In the Cheshire.
Yeah,
really cool.
They're obviously excited about his players though, because I remember when he came on, and it was like the first or second scrum, and he was obviously getting down, and they were like, "Come on, Sonny, you've got this, Sonny." Like, they were really pushing. Like, they obviously, like, maybe he was a bit nervous as well. I don't know, but they were like fully behind him from like the second he came on. I mean, Tongawiya is basically royalty at this point.
He's an absolute unit as well, isn't he? He's
yeah.
bigger than his dad, which is quite a statement to say, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid.
If he shaved his head, though, it'd be a bit dead ringer for his dad as well.
I'm not kidding you. He stood on the sidelines, and we looked at him, and I said to my mum, "That's Sawani with hair."
Yeah, he's got the same like mannerisms and like body posture and yeah.
Oh, I tell you who that also reminds me of. When we saw Nathan Langdon run on from behind, it's Curtis.
On the pitch.
He has the same weird run as Curtis.
On the pitch.
Because they run quite funny. And I was like, are we positive that Curtis hasn't just decided to just take his brother's place? Because he ran on, and I was like, no, and I'm like, they're not twins. And I was like, but all of their mannerisms and the way they throw, everything was like literally exactly the same. I was like, that's creepy.
Same scrum cap as well, wasn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, and the thing to say with Sonny, like, he is just a freak athlete because he's still really young.
Yeah.
But he really performed as well. Like, he was up against a decent pack, and he went really well. So Ali said it in the if you saw the video of him handing him his shirt, he was saying how firstly it was funny. He was saying, really your mum should be here giving this speech because I was too busy away at World Cups.
World Cups, yeah. He said at 4 World Cups, and you can see Alex Mitchell look at him like, nice brag. Like, he just looks at him in the video and just grins.
And then he says, if you knuckle down and get your act together, sort of thing, you could go on and achieve things far greater than me. And I think if he has any of the ability around the pitch that his dad had, and performs like a serious operator at tight head, he could be one hell of a talent. I mean, I think they've sort of I think they see a lot of potential in him, but they need the sort of that switch mentally to sort of really go after it, really knuckle down and get his head into doing it. And from what they said, he seems to have done that over the last 12 months or whatever. So I don't because I remember with his father playing, Dorian West pretty much bullied his father into becoming the player he was. Really got on top of him, really pushed him, and really rode him, and the performances came off the back of it because he needed that from Dorian West's point of view. And it might be similar, but
I still think that like Tongawiya Hartley, like
Right.
Mujati threesome is literally one of the best it's ever been. Like as a threesome and working together, it's one of the best. So yeah, if he's anything like his dad, then the Prem should be worried.
He's brave to take the step into tight head as well, because his dad was a loose.
Yeah,
He is a slightly different body shape though. He's a bit bigger.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
I think if
Yeah.
you're as big as him, I think you're struggling to actually play at loose head in the proper tight, proper rugby,
Yeah.
because you compare him to the shape of to Tarek, and they're like different people, like they're completely different shapes. Both obviously front rowers. But yeah, that was a hell of a
Yeah.
moment to see Sonny come on the pitch. I've said for years we don't really have an academy. We just ask the old boys to bring their lads along to training.
Yeah,
Like,
to bring their kids.
no other club brings through as many youngsters from like previous sons as we do. Like Tupai, Grayson's, Malander was not quite a player, but he was the son of a coach.
Yeah.
Tonga Weir. There was
Home.
3 Graysons, 2 played. Slight home.
Ollie.
Two
Yeah,
slight
Ollie.
homes.
Yeah, 2 slight homes.
I
I
think
think it's like the aura of the club, isn't it? Like those people's links with, because I think Tonga went away to play in some other places, but he came back to the local area, didn't he, once he retired? And so he obviously just felt a very strong connection here.
I don't think he has retired yet. Has he? He's still playing.
Yeah, well, he went
Yeah.
to France and the Olonnais, and then he ended up at Hampton,
Yeah.
and he player coach.
Yeah.
And then he
And
I think
he's at Banbury now, I think.
Yeah.
He is at Banbury, yeah.
As
But
a
I'm not
coach. I mean,
sure
it's
I don't know if it's a player now, though. I think it's just a coach. But
he's a
I don't
player coach, but
Player
he might not
coach,
play
yeah.
as much as he used to. I don't know.
as he used to, yeah.
You got Celesti as well. His lad plays, and he could be in the academy next.
I think
There's more than one Tonga Weir, isn't there?
Well, I don't know.
God.
I don't know.
He said to me there was there's 3 of them or something, but the others are younger, a bit younger.
Oh God.
I think there's a Wood as well in the vicinity. But yeah, there's like I said, we're an oddity. It must be cultural. It must be something about the place where the players just want to remain and also put their club players into it.
You do hear it even from people that leave. They're always like, there's something about Franklin's Gardens and like the aura and the atmosphere of it, and yeah.
Bruce's lad was in the academy until I won't go into what happened with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in the academy, so I don't know what happened to him.
Playing rugby league he's playing rugby league in New Zealand.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, as you should know, listening back to our podcast with Bruce. Yeah, he did go into it, but yeah, no, that's where he is.
No offense, I was just in awe of the man. I probably wasn't going to listen.
But anyway, let's move on from talking about former players' children, to let's have a look ahead to the Nottingham game. What are we thinking team-wise? Are we thinking same again?
Nah,
no idea.
I think this will be a lot younger.
I think it's going to be young across the board. Yeah.
I'd like to see.
You aren't going to see Ram. Definitely not. Anyway, they may. I don't know. With Hendy, it's like, do you want to risk it? But then it is also he hasn't had a lot of game time, so just all of a sudden not playing him for that long. I don't know, but maybe he'd come back for Coventry or something.
Nah, Hendy is out.
I don't know.
I'd rest Angus as well. Maybe keep Chunga in there as captain.
Yeah, I'd keep. That's probably the one thing.
I'd keep the same
the kind of senior ones. Yeah, I'd probably keep Chunya in there just as the captain. I think make him the captain for all 3, because if you're going to test it, you need to properly do it. There's no point doing it for one. No point doing it for one game.
If Lockett's fit, bring him in, or CL Green, George Smith if he's fit. I don't know if has he been playing?
Yeah, but he played for Bedford, so he's cup tied.
Ah, okay.
So I think Beltus played for Bedford, George Smith played for Bedford, Will Glister played for Bedford, so they can't play for us in this competition. Oh, and so did Benson. So those players
you can't play, right?
I think that's all. They're cup tied. So, but hopefully that means they get some really good game time at Blues.
Yeah.
They played against Premiership opposition down at Ashton Gate for Blues, so it's a fantastic experience for them.
Yeah, I'm not going to predict team selection or scores because I don't know enough about the opposition for one, and we could go 100 different ways.
I was going to say,
I don't know.
A Saints win.
Yeah, Saints win, obviously, but But I don't.
Yeah,
They could do so many different things with. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Seabrook still play again, just because he doesn't have game time. But yes, he also got hit in the head, so that's going to depend.
And he failed it, didn't he?
He did fail it, yeah.
So I
that's most likely that's most likely an automatic week off, actually. So I'd expect you'd probably see him back for Coventry, assuming he's made it through the return to play, because there's a week off, isn't there?
yeah.
So we may see him back for that one.
You know,
And I'd still play I'd still play the same 8, 9, 10 axis, just again getting them game time together. Yeah, I don't know.
It was the young lad that come on. I can't remember his name. Number 23.
Ewan Baker. Yeah, I hope to see him
Baker.
get games.
Not him.
Yeah.
That's not him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I won't. You can't go through and pick a team like you said, because we just don't know what they're thinking. But the players
No.
I'd love to see Lockett back fit and getting game time. I'd love to see Baker getting a start.
Logan's got to start. Logan's got to start.
I'd love to see Logan start or get some game time. And I'd love to see Cousins get some game time as well. So, maybe with Seabrook being out, maybe Cousins comes in.
Yeah, I'd stick with Litchfield as well. I think he would benefit a lot from continuing to get game time under his belt.
I'd keep the centres the same. They deserve to play.
Yep. Yeah, same.
Maybe you and Baker at fullback or on the wing with I'd keep Hendy in. I'd play him throughout this. I know he's a first team player, but it's not
he actually hasn't played a lot either. Actually, when you look at the number of minutes, it's actually not a lot, because of the injury that he had, and he hasn't been starting. So actually, he really doesn't have that many minutes. So
and when you think the players to come back into that position, Furbank, Freeman, Slytome, he's not guaranteed to start when everyone's fit anyway. So I would keep him playing, keep him developing, keep him sort of being a senior player in that back line. That's, and then as you said, 8, 9, 10, keep that train rolling, because that's just so exciting. Keep Finn Brown in. I would make the other players I'd like to see as well is Callum Hunter-Hill. Get him some game time.
I do wonder though if there's, because I know you've talked about Pollock should be a 7, because you're not going to pick him at 8 over. Oh, well, I wouldn't pick him at 8 over Graham and Augustus. I would still have those as the rotating 8th. So it'd be interesting if maybe at the moment he's got to stay as 8, don't he? Because we don't really have anyone else.
Unless Logan comes in.
Yeah, unless Logan comes in. And I just feel like it'd be interesting if they have the ability to put him at 7 and see what that's like. Because like you said, the starting position, Sam Graham's way too solid, and Augustus is just insane on the ball. And I just feel like those are still your almost joint first choices, essentially. Like, you just rotate them around. So I can't see 8 being his long-term position really for Pollock.
No, I agree. I think long-term he's a 7. I think long-term our back row is Pearson at 6 and Pollock at 7.
Pollock at 7,
and that's why it wouldn't be surprised if I'd quite like to see a back row of Finn Brown, Logan, and Pollock at 7. But you've got to keep him in the side. I think keep him playing.
Yeah, you just got to keep him playing at this point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And whether they bring Logan off the bench or something, mix it up. I don't know. But it's another. Not that Kenny played for us, but he's another son of a former great. He's in the academy. I know we picked him up from Worcester, but we just seem to like these players who've got international fathers. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm really gutted to actually be missing the game. That's what this competition does. It's so exciting to see these players play. And as much as I love going to watch the Wallabies play, and I don't get so many opportunities to do it, I'm really gutted that I'm missing it. And also, it's not going on TV, so it's not like I can even catch up. Yeah, just you have to let me know how we go next week. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're going down to Twickers to watch
ball
England against Australia.
It's Allianz Stadium now.
No, it's not. It's Twickenham. I'm not having any of that.
It's definitely in Twickenham. That we can confirm.
Yeah.
Do you call it the cinch when you go? I'm going down the cinch.
They've done the same, haven't they? They've
I usually just say I'm going to the
at Franklin's Gardens, aren't they?
At Franklin's Gardens,
Stadiums at Franklin's Gardens. So you're still accurate when you say I'm going to Twickenham, because you are going to Twickenham. That's where the place is.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I'm saying to you, I'll see you down the Gardens, no one that supports the Saints is ever going to go, I'll see you down the Cinch.
Yeah, but you're still going to Franklin's Gardens, aren't you? Because it's Cinch Stadium
it's still
at
in the-
Franklin's
it's still in the
Gardens.
title.
Anyway,
And
like,
also, I think Twickenham's technically called Allianz Stadium Twickenham, so you can still call it Twickenham.
I think it's the same sort of thing. It's Allianz Stadium at Twickenham.
Yeah. So you can still call it that. You're fine. Well, to be honest, I just call it HQ. So.
I'm not sure if I don't think.
No, it's StoneX now.
So is it?
StoneX.
Say again.
It's
Oh,
StoneX.
yes, it was.
Yeah. It was, and then they dropped them when they sort of did something that companies didn't want to be associated with.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wonder what that could be.
Anyway, let's call it there before we get ourselves in trouble. It's been another great show. Really looking forward to hearing the two of you next week, see how we go against Nottingham. But thanks everyone much for listening. Please continue to give us feedback on social medias. Keep following us on social medias. It really helps. And listen out going forward. We've got a couple of specials coming up, and we'll be releasing them at some point over the next couple of weeks. So thanks very much for listening. I've been Charles. Jess has been Jess. Simon's been Simon. Thanks very much.
Goodbye.